Hello, Control. It's Alpha Zulu 41.
Hello there.
Hello. I'm a bit of a strange one. I'm at the Cambridge Magistrates Court on a case. However, there's a chap here who's been a bit of an arse, to put it nicely, and has been ejected outside the court. So I was just ringing through to see if a job had come through for it all.
Let me just have a look. Oh, it's not one there's not one being put on at the moment.
Yeah.
Are we going to need one?
Someone, I think he's one of these guys who's got himself all hit up, and the security guards are here, and I think we might need to get someone down here just to have a chat with him, because he's otherwise he'll escalate or he might try and come back in. He's well dressed bloke, and he's here on he hasn't even managed to even get into court. He's given the security guards a real load of verbal, and tried to start strolling around the court, sticking his chest out, so they've had to eject him. But I think we might just need to, I've got no appointments with me or anything like that, I just might need to get someone down and just have a quick chat and tell him to try to mediate a little bit.
This is the St Andrew Street, isn't
Yeah.
it? The Magistrates Court. Right, so I'm presuming he's outside now, is he?
Yeah, he's outside now, yeah.
Right.
Your thoughts on what's going on today?
Absolute travesty. Absolute travesty. I mean, from what I've witnessed, being a scribe for Michael at the back of the court there, taking down notes, every witness that I've seen taking the stand today, over the last 3 days in fact, has committed perjury. They've lied under oath, blatantly obvious. As far as I'm concerned, this summary judgment was made before this case ever came to trial. As far as I'm concerned, the magistrates involved were instructed to find this man guilty before this case ever came to trial, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
And what do you think about the police investigation that we've heard today?
It was a non-investigation.
Did she do any investigation?
None whatsoever.
She was passed evidence from wherever she sourced it. Did she say she looked at it or not?
No, she didn't look at anything.
Didn't look at
Didn't even bring her notebook into court. So that means she's going back onto duty today after court with no notebook.
That's utter nonsense.
Nonsense.
None of them had any notebooks.
No.
Right.
Everyone, no notebooks, but all police officers turned up to court with no notebooks. Said that, of course, they have to follow all reasonable lines of inquiry. No reasonable lines of inquiry were followed. Claims of broken CCTV, claims of CCTV was called over radio that City of Cambridge had no CCTV that day.
Yep.
Mass memory loss, complete collusion between the various
witnesses.
all witnesses.
Yep.
Every single witness was shown to be false, giving false significant testimony in this trial. They've talked about a straight right punch when my body and my arm was over this side of my body as I was falling over when I was being shoved. There could not possibly been a straight right punch.
Right. Do we have a name for him or anything?
No,
No.
I know he was, literally I was walking into the court as he was being ejected out the other side of it, but he's sitting outside on the bus stop at the moment.
Hopefully if a bus comes along he might get on it and go.
I don't know if it's likely with this guy, to be honest. He's holding a law book in his hand. I think he's a bit above his station.
Looking for a job.
No, I don't know if he's a lawyer, to be honest, but he was being ejected, rough-handled out when I got here. But,
all right. Okay, I'll see if somebody can have a word with him. Okay, and
yeah, no worries.
And see if we can
Brilliant.
get him to move on. All right.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
There, boys.
I think I've seen 5, 6 cases of perjury. I've seen magistrates being as corrupt as magistrates can be.
I've seen a waste of a lot of time. You know, we've had 11 witnesses. They didn't need 11 witnesses. They all said the same thing. They could have just had one witness. It was all reading off the same sheet.
Exactly.
Yeah, all 3 witnesses denied seeing me being shoved, yet one of them's now conceded that yes, I'm being shoved by the security guard. So
I would like.
It's utter nonsense.
Would you say the judge was being a very fair judge?
No, I don't think so at all. I asked for adjournment today because there's loads of evidence that's come to light during the course of this trial that is material to my case, which I've asked to be disclosed, and they've refused every single request of mine to disclose any evidence in this case.
Would you also say that the judge was quite aggressive towards you throughout?
Yeah, I think he's very partisan to the prosecution counsel, and to me, he doesn't like me.
Last thing, we're just about to go back into the court.
What do I think the verdict is?
What are you expecting, and what, you know?
Well, I think it's clear. It looks like a stitch up. You know, every reasonable request of mine's been refused, and I think it's going to be a stitch up. But then this is what you expect. You know, this is what happens when you take on, for example, the police and prosecute the police. These are the sort of things they're going to start to do if you take cases of nonsense into the court and put you through the trauma of a court case, and you know, do those sort of things. Yeah. Of course, we've got the Court of Appeal, and they refused to put my abusive process arguments in today to court, which are clear and rife throughout this case. It's an utter nonsense case, non-starter, and any appeal court judge will throw it out on abusive process argument. Absolutely clear, but you know, if they want to go to the appeal court, it's going to get more and more expensive. It's going to get more and more publicity, and people will start to see what the earth is going on in these courts.
Yeah. One final point I'd just like to make is that the witnesses that we've witnessed perjuring themselves under oath, including the security staff and the 2 serving police officers, need to be held to book for what they've done over the last 3 days. They need to be held to account for the fact that they've perjured themselves under oath in a court of law.
One question for you: if this case was before a jury, what do you think would be the outcome?
Oh, they would have kicked it out. Of course it would. Yeah.
Wouldn't have made it past the
They
first
would have
hour.
kicked it out.
They've all conspired. They've all got the same statements, with the
which
same
are all
paragraphs, which are all wrong in the same places. Yeah.
And also, a key witness was the one who was preparing all the witness
Yeah,
statements.
and that's when the 4 minutes gets missed out of the video. That's why there's cameras apparently don't work. That's what apparently this
Won't
is.
give maintenance records.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll forge the maintenance records in good time.
Yeah, give them time. Man, so all in all, the evidence is compelling that perjury has been committed in that court. Without a shadow of a doubt.
I totally
and
agree.
I will be asking for a court transcript from the events of the last 3 days, and I'll be personally putting a private prosecution in for perjury in court.
Hello, mate. Yes. What do you make of all the corruption in the courts then?
You're
working there, didn't you?
No comment.
Go on.
No comment. We can't comment. Leave him out.
Well, this gentleman simply won't take my advice.
It's not your advice. You've asked
I'll ring Mr. Davis and tell him.
Okay. 1 second. You've asked me to follow a procedure that you don't actually even have.
No, I'll explain to Mr. Davis. I'll tell him.
If you'd like to come out, that would be great. Thank you very much. if you're here for security, you're just security. So if you don't mind, I'm dealing with the court staff, okay? I'm asking for an appointment. I'm asking your security. Yeah. I'm asking for an appointment in front of a magistrate. It's not your business. So unless there's any other issues for you, I suggest you...
Listen, sir, you've been rude to a member of staff, you've been rude to me, I'm ejecting you from the building.
No, I have not been rude.
You've been ejected from
and there's witnesses here, there's no one being rude. I've just asked you, if you want to do security, go for security. I'm dealing with the people in here.
Please. You're leaving the building, sir.
If you touch me, that's assault. There's CCTV in this court. I'm recording this matter, what's going on with you. No one's been rude to anyone. I've asked to be put in front of a magistrate.
Listen, sir, you're going.
Really? If you touch me, I'll put you in front of court for assault.
Section 53 of the Court
There's
Act
people here.
that allows us... Well,
we'll deal with that in court. Your name is?
My name's Nigel Carder.
Okay, good.
I'm head of security.
If you touch me, Nigel, it's without my consent.
Yeah, okay. Chris, this gentleman has been rude to Diane Pinter, and he's talked down to me as security.
Talk down?
I've asked him to leave the building. If you don't leave the building, we'll leave you by force.
If you touch me, if you touch me,
under,
that's assault,
right, Chris,
and I will prosecute.
If you get off your belongings,
if you get off of me, get your hands off of me.
You get out this building.
No, I'm not. I'm here to lay information in front of the magistrate.
You're ejected on Section 53.
No, you're assaulting me.
2003.
That man's assaulted me.
He's not assaulted.
Section 53. You have assaulted me.
Come on.
I suggest you call the police.
I
suggest you call the police.
Look.
If you touch me,
you will go.
You will
leave the building. It's not assault.
If you touch me, that's assault.
We're allowed
Yes, it
to
is.
use means to get you out of the building. We are Section 53. You obviously don't know the laws.
No, you are not.
Yes.
Well, we'll see about that because I will have you. I want the police called now.
You've got one last chance. You leave on your own path,
suggest you call
or you
the
will
police.
leave the building
You
with
are
force.
private security.
I'm going to give you 3 seconds
if you touch
to
me,
make up your mind.
I want all of your names.
1, 2, 3. You're coming.
If you can be, that's fine. This is assault. This is assault. You have assaulted me, and we will have the CCTV of this.
Yes,
that's fine. That's no problem. This is the court. This is the court's business in this country. This is what you're doing. You're touching me. Get your hands off of me.
No.
Get your hands off of me.
I'm holding on to you for my own safety.
You are
holding on to you.
You are going to be prosecuted for common assault, and in this court, you are going to be prosecuted for common assault.
Yes, sir.
Can I have all of your names? Can I have all of your names?
No.
You're not going to give me your name?
No.
So private security.
I don't have
You've
to.
been reading the You're not private security.
I don't have to give you any details at all.
You will see. You will see. All of you will be prosecuted. Yes, sir. Can I have your name now? Can I have your name?
My name's Nigel Carder. I'm head
Nigel
of
Carder, good.
I'm ejecting you.
Give me all your names.
53 of the Court Act.
Oh, wonderful. For what reason? For what reason? Nigel.
Being
for what reason?
abusive to members of the staff and
Being
security.
abusive. You said rude earlier.
Yeah, rude.
Talking down to you.
Yes, sir.
Talking down to you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, because the whole thing's recorded. The whole thing's recorded. This is common assault. Not the first This is common assault. Officer, this is common assault now, and I want to speak to you now. I want to make a report of a crime.
So he wants to see you.
Yeah, he will do. That's good. That's fine by me. Okay, officer. I'd like to make a report of a crime, officer.
53.
Don't touch me. What's that? It doesn't matter. Officer, you're a witness. You are a witness to an assault. Very funny.
I still, you're right. And that's even with the police, the last one, I learned you've got to collect all the evidence.
You've done an outstanding job.
Anyone got any comments to make at all? How about you, Dave?
Well, this has been a great 3 days watching Michael perform as a advocate for himself. He's been stitched up by the police, the Cambridge court staff, and by the CPS. And I don't believe that justice is going to be done today in this court. Well, we know it, but they claim it's about justice. We know it's not about justice, but they claim it is. And I don't think. I think there's a good chance. There's a good chance he's going to be convicted, but he doesn't worry about that because he'll then go to appeal, and then we'll have another few days in court.
In fact, the fact they're going through the motions of this thing is absolutely, utterly ridiculous. At the point Carder was completely purged himself, perverted the course of justice, they should have just folded the case until the time when my scribe was in with me and he said that we're taking this one to the end. And I said, who's told you to take it to the end? I'm not at liberty to tell you that. What's going on in the background?